Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Shira Zeller. I am the graduate coordinator here for graduate admissions, and welcome to our takeover session. So, a little bit of history to how we ended up here. Once the COVID pandemic started, we had to move everything to be digital, so we started having our general information sessions. One feedback that we received from students was that, hey, we want to hear from specific departments about their programs. It was the biggest feedback we got. And so, with that said, we made it come to life, and that is how we birthed our takeover session, so to speak. Also on the call today, I am joined by my colleague, Nanette Rojas, who is the Assistant Director for Graduate Admissions. And like I mentioned today, we are joined by the Latin American and Caribbean Studies program here at FIU, and we are joined by Dr. Holbrook, who will go ahead and take you through a presentation that he has set up for you all. So take it away, Dr. Holbrook.
Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Joseph Holbrook. I teach Latin American history, Latin American religion, and Latin American studies here at FIU. So I'm going to share my screen and go to a PowerPoint and answer some questions about what is LAC and what is MALAX. If you have been on campus, you probably recognize the interior of the DM building there. We are located on the third floor of DM. That is when the pandemic is not going on. And right now we're only in there part-time. And our center is called LAC, Latin American and Caribbean Center. Excuse me. And I'll talk a little bit more about who we are and what our function is, but we offer a master's degree in Latin American and Caribbean Studies. That's MALAX. MA master's degree and LAX, Latin American and Caribbean Studies. Let me, for some reason, it's not moved. There we go. I went too far. Let me go back. Okay, so I'm Joseph Holbrook. I'm the Director of Academic Programs. If you decide to enroll in the master's degree program, I will be your primary advisor and comforter, encourager, and cheerleader to cheer you on to success. Vidocelis Cavieres is our academic programs coordinator, and President Luis Solis is the interim LAC director. President Solis is a former president of Costa Rica. And we also have Liesl Picard, who's our associate director, and Dr. Jose Miguel Cruz is our research director. We do quite a bit of research, and particularly right now in Central America with youth violence and gangs and migration. We have a faculty advisory board from a number of different academic disciplines. This is Mrs. Cavieres, our coordinator, and our offices. LAC was founded in 1979, interestingly, by the president of our university, President Rosenberg. 1979, I myself did my master's degree in Latin American and Caribbean Studies in 2003. The U.S. Department of Education has designated our center as a National Resource Center on Latin America. That means we receive some funding from the Department of Education. We have the unusual distinction of having the largest number of Latin American faculty in the country. We have 200 plus Latin Americanist faculty. That means that faculty that come from Latin America originally, or faculty that does research in Latin America. Our master's degree is flexible and interdisciplinary. That means that it's not just history, it's not just political science, it's a little bit of all, it's a mix and match of all the disciplines. So if your interest is sociology, you can focus on sociology while doing a study of Latin America with our degree. So there's also networking and opportunities for internships. We report to the Stephen J. Green School of International and Public Affairs. The founding dean is Dr. John Stack. And they are in turn, they report to the Provost and Chief Operating Officer, Kenneth Furton, under the FIU academic structure. So our MALEX degree, remember MALEX is a Master's in Latin American and Caribbean Studies. The fact that we include Caribbean in that means that we also place a value and priority on studying the West Indies. That is the English-speaking part of the Caribbean, even though it's not technically part of Latin America. So we have quite a bit of research and course offerings on Cuba, Puerto Rico, Haiti. We offer a language track in Haitian Creole, as well as Portuguese and Quechua. And we also are developing some new courses on the West Indies. So the MALEX degree is 30 to 33 credits. The introductory course is a survey course of Latin America through great books. That is works of literature, sociology, political science, history that are classic in Latin America. That's LAS 6003. I teach that as well as Barry Levitt from the political science department. The research seminar is taught by Dr. Cruz, LAS 6934. That's basic tools to know how to do research in Latin America. Methods course, you are required to take one methods course of your choosing. If you're going into history, if you're thinking about doing a PhD in history, you would probably want to take a history methods course. If you're going into political science, the same. But you have to take one additional methods course. We encourage that you take a theory course, but it's not strictly required. And then you have a core area of concentration of 12 credits. This is your primary area of interest. And a lot of our students do political science as their core area of concentration. Some do international relations. We have had students do their concentration in history. We recently had a student for the first time do their concentration in fine arts. And so there's a wide variety of possibilities on how you can focus your master's degree. Some do it in business. We also offer a combined master's degree program with the business college for an MBA and the MALEX degree combined in 3 years. You're allowed to have 3 electives, and the exit option is usually either a directed research paper or an internship. If you do a thesis, which is a little bit harder, that's 6 credits instead of 3 credits. So this is the course distribution for the MALEX degree. Let me jump down here. We also recently created an online master's. This is only about a year old. We've added a number of new courses that are fully online. Our survey of Latin America is now fully online. I'm teaching it this semester. In the fall, we'll offer for the second time our research in Latin America fully online. And we're adding 2 classes, one on youth gangs and violence in Latin America and another one on a survey of the Caribbean. So all courses that count toward the master's degree can be from an approved list, which I hope to show you in a moment. If they're not on the list, as long as you can demonstrate that they have 25% LAC content, LAC meaning Latin American and Caribbean content, or allow you to do 25% of your work on LAC. This became very useful for the young man that did his concentration on the fine arts, because there weren't that many courses that were specifically on our list, but he was able to work with the professors to allow him to do his final project on art in Latin America so we could count his fine arts classes towards the degree. You see some of the flexibility that's involved in this master's. There are nearly 500 courses on our master list from 35 different academic disciplines. This makes MALEX ideal for anyone with diverse interests. I'm going to show you our course list. Just one second. Here it is. So I think I said there's 500 courses, over 500 actually, on this course list. and there's 35 different disciplines. Here's we're right here. We're in religious studies. All of these graduate classes count towards Latin American and the Caribbean, public administration, psychology. Some, of course, have more than others. Political science has quite a few that can be used towards the Malik's degree. There's one from nursing and health sciences. We even have a number of courses for music, music of the Caribbean, music of Mexico and Central America. So there's something here for almost anyone. This, I believe, is modern languages, Spanish literature, and so on. We also have a large selection of law classes as well as biology. There's a lot of people who do research on the tropical marine biology in the Caribbean. Let me just go to the top here. History classes. And so after you take our core required courses, then you can pick and choose from this larger list of 500 courses what your concentration will be. African and diaspora studies, anthropology, etc. So you get an idea of how flexible as well as interdisciplinary our degree is. I'm going to go back now to the presentation. So for the exit option, you identify a mentor or director from the other 12 courses, 12 credits that you took. For the concentration, you find someone that you feel like you can relate with or who is an expert in the field that you're interested in, and they will guide you in doing a directed research paper, which is usually about 40 pages, and it has to be quality research. A thesis should be about 80 pages generally. That's just a general guideline. Or you can do an internship. We have a long list of potential internships that you can work with, and we have some coordinators who can help you find an internship. So that could be helpful as well. I've already mentioned the online masters. Of course, the list of potential courses to choose from is more limited for the online masters. There's not all of these classes that the 500 classes have been put online at the graduate level, but we have at least 30 classes that you can choose from to get your online masters, and we're in the process of creating more online courses. Graduates from the Malik's degree tend to go to a number of different areas. Large numbers of Malik's graduates go into education. Business is the next largest probably. And then you have NGOs, IGOs, arts and publishing, U.S. federal and state government work, law, etc. Journalism and communications is another one. The vast majority of them are in LAC-related fields, whether it be business or education. They're doing something related to Latin America and the Caribbean. We also encourage our students to participate in professional conferences. There's one in late February in Texas at the University of Texas, Austin, that we encourage students to go to. It's a student conference. It brings about 200 students from around the world together to present papers on Latin America. There's also a LASA, which is the Latin American Studies Association, which is meeting this year in Vancouver, Canada. And then we are having our own student conference here at FIU on March 19th and 20th. It's a tri-university conference. We have done this for 19 years straight in conjunction with the University of Miami and with FAU, Florida Atlantic University. So we take turns hosting it. This year it's our turn to host. If you're interested, please contact me, or there's also an email down at the bottom that you can contact to find out how you can participate. The first prize for a winning paper and presentation is $700, if I'm not mistaken. So we do give cash prizes for the top winners in the competition for the presentations. And that's all in the slide presentation, but I also wanted to mention our FLAS fellowships. we offer foreign language area studies, language fellowships in conjunction with the U.S. Education Department, and we offer those for Portuguese, Haitian Creole, and Quechua. And we have a number of students. We have, I think, 20 some students that have applied for next year's funding. It brings about $20,000. I'm rounding off, but about $20,000 in funding per year, including stipends and tuition waivers. So it's a very good fellowship, and it allows you to study language while you're going to school. So I highly encourage you to look into that. The deadline for the next year would be January 1st of next year. And we have some study abroad programs in Argentina and in Ecuador and the Amazon, and we have other good things. So I would look forward for you to contact me and let me know if you have any questions. That's all for my presentation. Any questions?
Dr. Holbrook, thank you for sharing about the opportunities for the students in terms of organizations and the foreign language opportunity. I was going to ask, are there other opportunities for students to serve in kind of a teaching assistantship or graduate assistantship capacity through the department?
Yes, we usually have 2 teaching assistantships each year. They last for two years, and they allow students to receive a stipend and get tuition waivers in order to pursue their master's degree.
Okay, great. Kind of to follow up on that, would students need to submit a separate application in order to be considered for that type of an award, or is that something that as their applications come in that they're considered?
When they apply in the master application, I think it directs them if they indicate they need financial assistance, it allows them to choose to apply for the teaching assistantship. I'm not sure of the concrete details of the application process, but Ms. Cavieres, Virtucella Cavieres, knows the answer to those questions. So yes, when you apply, you can indicate your desire to be a teaching assistant or to be considered for that. Of course, it's awarded on a competitive basis.
I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but does your program admit just once a year? I know some graduate programs do, or do they admit multiple
Twice
times
a year? We have an admissions in the fall in August, and the deadline for that is March 21st for U.S. residents. And then there's another admission process that begins the deadline's, I think, in October to be admitted for the January start date of the spring semester.
I know students have asked in the past in terms of statements of purpose, whether or not there's a specific prompt, or do you want them to cover something in particular? Do you have any?
Oh, for us, of course, in their statement of purpose, we want to see why they're interested in Latin America. What is their background? Have they studied any relevant languages? We also want to know what their long-term career goals are. Are they hoping to go into government or to go into higher education? Those things are all helpful, but especially we want to know what their interest in Latin America is and why they would like to study a master's in Latin American studies.
I don't know if my colleagues have any questions.
No, I think everything was said and put very, very well. I know I personally learned a lot throughout this session, so thank you so, so much.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure to be with you, and thank you for arranging this opportunity.
Of course. Thank you, like I said, so much. It was a pleasure, and we look forward to working with you throughout the graduate fair as well.
Okay. See you next